GG's, Dundadas, Hyenas, Scuba Eyes learn from Scuba Steve was criminated, y'all. I rock Luther King X. Don't forget that Kennedy is doing his memory march right here on YouTube. We're building our 2025 permits right here. We conducted ourselves the most highest. The life what you making. You can't love it, you can't hate it. It's gonna be simply what you making. We stay more legit than ever. You heard? God chose you because he knew he could trust you. God's best kept secret. We're in the elevator. Who's elevated? God's elevator on the way to the top. You heard? Ain't no denying that. You heard? We gotta stay more aware than ever. So what's going on, Fucking pull up on the how about with the choppers and Yaga. But damn, what's going on, GG? Cause I feel like on some real shit, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like YNW Millie gonna beat his case, Dandada. Like, that's what I felt. Like, real shit. Like, I honestly feel like they really ain't got much on him. They really ain't got a lot on him, so he was gonna beat his case. I don't know if now it's not gonna happen or just because YNW Bortlen took the plea deal. I don't know. Like, cause honestly, I feel like I understand that it's mad time. They've been pushing this nigga's shit back, pushing it back. But they pushing it back. That means they fucked up. That don't mean I'm not saying that he did do it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm saying that the paperwork that was done, right? The cops taking the paperwork, everybody taking the paperwork, everybody's taking the paperwork. They fucked up and they made too many loopholes for him to be, you know what I'm saying, free. Yeah, it's a lot of fucking situations that is happening that, oh yeah, they got this evidence and that evidence, but still they got a lot of evidence. And when you got the money for lawyers could look through situations, that means you got to cover up a lot of holes that you fucked up on. Cover up a lot of holes, and that shit ain't not gonna work, So I feel like he was gonna be free, I don't know why Bortlen took the deal. I don't know if they told him to take the deal. I don't know if he's okay to take the deal. Like, I don't know. If you talk to Melly,
that's meant to. Have you seen or heard Mr. Henry say or do anything which would call into question in your mind whether he understands it?
I don't know if he talked to Melly when he went back, Melly told him to take the plea because he was already out, so he got out on bail and shit like that. So if they just automatically letting this man out on bail, on this, on that, they saying that he was there when it all happened. They chose him to like why would they be doing that? And all right then, because they really ain't got much.
All right, so Mr. Henry, it's two cases, sir. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, this is before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state. You were charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital offenses. The maximum and mandatory penalty is life in Florida State Prison. Counts 3 and 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty is 30 years in Florida State Prison. In case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged to count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State Prison. Count 2, directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony. Again, punishable up to life in Florida State Prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. Again, as it relates to a first degree murder charge, that is punishable by a maximum penalty of life in Florida State Prison. And count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device as charged. That's a second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State.
Promo alert. Today is your boy.
That don't make no sense, GG.
Call you some fine.
That don't make no sense, GG. Like, 15 years for you. Fuck. They just be ODing niggas.
That like button.
I won the street reporter, and I'm back with another video. Let's get into it. YNW Bortlen has agreed to take a plea deal for his involvement in a double murder of him and YNW Melly friends, YNW Juvy, and YNW Sakchaser. Bortlen murder charge was dropped, and he was charged with accessory after the fact. He was facing 5 life sentences.
So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida State Prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State Prison. Sir, do you understand all the pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved? And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct?
That nigga was looking like, nigga, please, nigga. He already talked to fucking to Melly. He probably the nigga who probably is the nigga who did it. Melly's probably in there like, yo, nigga, like, what the fuck, man? I gotta sit in here, nigga. Stay solid, nigga. What the fuck for son I didn't do, nigga? Like, allegedly, nigga, these other niggas that are like, if you think Melly did it himself, maybe he did it. Maybe, like, you know what I'm saying? So niggas gotta get out, do this, do that, they standing on business. Allegedly, all this allegedly, niggas is like, look like, you know what I'm saying? Gotta stand on business.
Right. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number one, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the
YNW Millie actually didn't do it and didn't actually body both of them dudes. It wasn't really him that actually pulled the trigger. Then what, That's different right there. I don't know much about the case, but
23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree murder counts. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir. What's happening with that?
That would be no problem.
So he's only going to plead to the tampering with a witness in a capital felony, conspiracy to commit tampering and unlawful use of a two-way communication device?
Just the tampering and the unlawful use.
Just count 1 and count 7. State, you're going to null process count 2 and count 5.
Correct.
As it relates only to Mr. Henry. Okay. So, Mr. Henry, what is
Melly's coming home. Melly's coming home. I feel like Melly's actually gonna come home. For some odd reason, I feel like Melly's gonna come home. I don't know why. I just feel like that nigga's gonna come home. That nigga been too mad. He already did like fucking 8 years in there, just fucking with trial and shit like that. That's crazy. He already did his time. Not for 2 more, not for the double murder, but just cause they dropped his double murder. They dropped his. If he ain't getting charged with the double murder, and they gonna drop his, they gotta drop fucking Melly. Like, what the fuck? They saying he was there, so they didn't. So they say he was there, right? And they dropped the double murder on him. He didn't plead guilty to the double murder. He didn't admit to the double murder. He pled guilty to other shit, and that's about it. Melly coming home, that's crazy.
It's going to be his 2 counts of accessory after the fact, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation.
Melly's coming home, They didn't charge this nigga with the body, so they ain't going to charge Melly with the body.
In the unlawful use of a two-way communication device, that's a 2nd-degree felony. The maximum exposure.
It's a 3rd-degree murder.
It's the 2nd as charged, I believe. It's a 3rd, except as it relates to a capital case.
Nah, I didn't. First, yo, Gigi. He did not snitch on. I didn't say he snitched on Melly, first and foremost, I didn't say he snitched on Melly, and he didn't even admit to the 2 bodies, He didn't plead guilty to the 2 bodies. He pled guilty to the having the device, the 2 device exchange thing. Melly's coming home, Melly's gonna beat this shit. He been locked up for too long. They ain't got nothing on him, They had him there, pen for so long, They got a case on him. But he already went through the case, and there's so many loopholes in the case that he might be coming home, Gigi. The nigga Melly might be coming home, Gigi. That's a fact. That's a motherfucking fact, Gigi. That King Von mode always, King Marvel, You feel that Little Dirk set up thing, or that's just fucking rumors? How about that, King Von mode? Shit different, Melly might be coming home, Melly definitely coming home, Most likely.
Happy to look it up.
No one's feeling that with me?
Well, what did
no
you
one
want
feel like
to
he's coming
negotiate
home? Or I'm the
so
only
far?
nigga feeling that?
That was just going to be the maximum.
5 years? Is that what you want me to do?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so sir, as to that count, it's going to be an adjudication of 5 years in Florida State Prison. So the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count, those come with 6 years of reporting probation after the Department of Corrections sentence. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've served in both cases. All of those counts will run concurrently. All those sentences will run concurrently. All counts in all cases, that is at the same time with each other. I'm going to have to impose mandatory court costs. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reservists to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing.
Since taking the plea, he was given 10 years in prison and 6 years probation. He will get time served. So out of 10 years, he only have to do about 5 or 6 in jail. Before I get into how would this affect Melly and answer the questions everyone been asking or assuming, is he snitching? Let me show y'all.
Facts. That's what we want to know. We want to know if Melly's coming home. Because I'm thinking Melly's coming home. They said that he ain't charged with the double thing. So would this affect Melly? A lot of people saying he betrayed them. He sent them off. But a lot of people don't know the insight. So let's get some insight.
What led up to this decision? 2 days ago, YNW Bortlen was presented with an option to take a plea. He had until 1:30 today to accept it or not. But the thing that I realized 2 days ago, Bortlen lawyer came into court, shirt bust open, looking like he was just on a yacht with Diddy the night before. He came in with a hangover, allegedly. The way Bortlen stared at his lawyer said it all. At some point, he dropped his head and wiped his eyes. He knew he was doomed. In no way, shape, or form, I would have felt comfortable going to trial with this lawyer representing me. Now, from what I'm hearing, this lawyer is a great lawyer. Maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe he was just running late. Or maybe he had a hangover the night before. But that day, where that plea deal was presented, the lawyer didn't show up looking his best. In fact, he was stumbling over words and everything. Like I said, to the fact, Bortlen just stared at him while his eyes teared up. Like he just knew, like, what's going on? It's over. As y'all know.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. Imagine your fucking lawyer, right? Your lawyer coming into that's like your teacher, nigga, coming into to school, you come into class drunk. Like, this thing ain't about the teacher, this thing is wavy, So even if he's a good lawyer, you lost all, like, type, like, damn, you can't be on point, right now. At this point, my shit don't matter right now. So who knows, But even that, is that enough for this nigga to be, well, it's his life, GG. It's his life, So, you know what I'm saying? It's his life. He's going to have to take it how he take it. He see everybody else took it. He's like, yo, shit, this deal right here is for 2 bodies is better than Young Thug's fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Young Thug got 15, 20 to serve, this to serve shit. He got fucking 10 to serve, 6 on probation. Like, Young Thug got 15 years on probation, nigga. Like, that shit crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, Can we look at it because of the lawyer, was making a mistake, that he was like, yo, I can't fuck with this nigga. Well, that'll be a manly decision right there on him. We could look at him different. He actually was just, you know what I'm saying, just destructive. Like, damn, my lawyer did me dirty. Look at what he's doing.
Bortlen don't have a label or money like Melly backing him. So for him to fire this lawyer if he felt that the lawyer wasn't in his best interest and get another one, he can't afford that financially. So taking a plea today was in his best interest. Now, let's get into what everyone is talking about. The judge brought up Bortlen will sit down with the state and give a proffer.
Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you've negotiated is the deal you've negotiated, and that's the ballgame. You understand all that, sir? Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that? They've answered all your questions? You're sure that that's what you want to do? Because I want to emphasize, Mr. Henry, and I'm going to do this again at the end of my plea colloquy. Whether you resolve the case by way of a negotiated plea or an open plea to me, or you resolve the case by way of a trial, it doesn't matter to me at all. But due to the resources that have been devoted to this case, I have 250 jurors summoned for jury duty starting tomorrow. So I want to be very thorough with you here this afternoon, because if you wake up tomorrow or the next day and you decide you've changed your mind and you want to resolve this case, both cases, by way of a jury trial, that's not going to happen. All right? If you want to have a trial, the trial starts tomorrow. If you want to accept the deal, you can accept the deal today. But there's not going to be any buyer's remorse, in other words.
What the fuck? They forcing this nigga, Dandada, to take the fucking plea deal, Dandada. Like, we're going to trial tomorrow, Dandada. You're taking the deal today, Dandada. You should have just took it to trial, bro. You probably was going to beat it, bro. Looks like he was going to beat it, nigga. He looked like he was about to beat this shit, Dandada.
Like giving you plenty of time to think about this, talk to your lawyers about it, talk to your family about it. I talked to you about it last week. Kind of looks like your lawyers probably did something or other to get a better disposition for you as of this afternoon.
I was like, hold on. I would be like, yo, hold up. Man, my lawyer needs like a week, bro, to start trial, Dandada. Like starting trial tomorrow, bro. My boy, look at my boy, Dandada. He needs some sleep, bro. My boy came in hungover, bro, today, Dandada. He ain't gonna be able to start tomorrow, bro. He's gonna have to go home and go to sleep right now, Dandada.
But this is it today. So understanding all that, you've had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that. That's what you want to do. So, sir, has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you into entering these pleas? If I accept your pleas, there will not be a trial in either one of these cases. Do you understand that? If I accept these pleas, there's a whole bunch of constitutional rights you are giving up. I want to make sure you understand all of those rights. You have the right to maintain your plea of not guilty and have a trial in each case. You have the right to present defenses, to file motions and other pleadings in support of your defense. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have the state prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you. You have the right to appeal any decisions that I may have made up to this point, or any rulings I might make in a future trial. But understanding by entering this negotiated resolution today, you are giving up all of those rights. The matter is going to be resolved today, right now, this afternoon. Is that what you want to do? Are you satisfied with your lawyers? Have you had enough time to speak with them? Have they answered all your questions? Are you satisfied with all the work that they have done for you?
No.
Sir, I've got two identical plea forms here entitled Plea of Guilty or No Contest to Criminal Charges in Circuit Court. Each one has your name on the top, your initials on the left-hand side, front and back, and your signature on the back. Did you go over both of these forms? Any questions about what's on either of these forms? And is that your signature on the back of each form? Sir, paragraph 11 of each form that you signed reads as follows. I acknowledge that my attorney and I have reviewed any discovery disclosed by the state. My attorney and I are unaware of any physical evidence for which DNA may exonerate me. In other words, sir, if there's any physical evidence in the case that we could test for DNA, that DNA evidence would not tell me that you were not one of the people in that vehicle when these crimes occurred. But actually the opposite would be true. If there was any such physical evidence that could be tested for DNA, that DNA evidence would tell me that you were one of the two people that was inside this vehicle when these crimes occurred. Sir, do you agree with that statement? State, do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Defense, do you agree with that statement? Mr. Henry, understanding everything that I have talked to you about up to this point, do you still want to go ahead and resolve both cases today, right now? Defense, is he stipulating to a factual basis for the purpose of each plea in both cases?
Yes.
And if he's entitled to a PSI, defense, are you going to waive that as to each case?
Absolutely.
State, is there anything else that you need me to do before I take his plea?
Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Henry, again, two cases. We're going to do one at a time. In case number 19, 1871 CF10A, as to count 3, accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree, and as to count 4, accessory after the fact as to murder in the first degree. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? In case number 23, 10643 CF10A. As to count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I will accept your no contest pleas as to each. I'm going to find a factual basis to support each based upon my review of each electronic probable cause affidavit, as well as your stipulation in court here today. I'm going to further find that you have freely, voluntarily, and intelligently waived your rights, that you have knowingly entered each plea with the advice of competent counsel who you've told me that you are satisfied with, that you understand the nature of the charges and the consequences of the plea. Accordingly, and pursuant to the negotiated agreement, I will sentence you as follows. In case number 19, 1871 CF10A, as to count 3 and count 4, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation.
For those who don't know what a proffer basically means, he will tell them what he knows about this case. In return, he locks in the plea deal like he did today. Now, as of right now, he haven't did the plea deal. He will do it later on down the line. Now, Bortlen can go in there and tell them the truth, or he can go in there and tell them lies. To be honest, I don't see him giving up Melly. Y'all have to remember, Bortlen is charged with accessory after the fact, meaning he was only involved after Juvy and Sakchaser was killed. So he can go in a proffer meeting and say Joe Blow, who recently died, called him after he was dropped off and told him come outside. Juvy and Sakchaser just been shot in a drive-by. And he drove off and took him to the hospital while Joe Blow ran down the street and got into another car. Remember, Melly is saying he was dropped off before Juvy and Sack was killed. He was at home in bed. Last time he seen Juvy and Sakchaser them, they dropped him off and they was alive. This is what Melly is saying. So Bortlen can put this on the dead person of being the last person that was seen with Juvy and Sakchaser. And mind you, if Joe Blow is dead, he can't be charged. Gangster Williams' Birdman brother did the same thing, but he told on dead people to get out of jail after already being sentenced to life. So I honestly don't see Bortlen telling on Melly. And the judge basically told him, what you say in your proffer has nothing to do with him or the other case. The proffer is solely for his plea deal. Now, if Bortlen put the murder on someone else, Melly lawyers can use Bortlen proffer and tell the judge, look, Melly co-defendant already confessed that Joe Blow was the last person in the car with Sack and Juvy when they was alive. Joe Blow called Bortlen, pulled up to his house after they dropped him off and said, hey, we just got into a shootout. Sack and Juvy just got killed. But while the snitch allegations was going around, Bortlen's attorney addressed social media assumptions and said, I don't represent snitches. He will not be cooperating or testifying in YNW Melly trial. Anyone who claims different has not seen the plea deal and has no idea what they're talking about. So after reading that, the proffer can solely be on Bortlen role in accessory.
What the fuck, nigga? The lawyers, that lawyer's real, bro. That lawyer said, what? That lawyer said he does not represent snitches? What the fuck? That lawyer's too real, nigga. Who is that lawyer, bro? That lawyer's too fucking real.
What did I miss?
You got famous. You got famous. Oh man, listen. So you talked to the lawyer directly, right? Bortlen's lawyer, right?
Yeah, it was only three of us, 3 reporters there the whole time. So yeah, we did.
All right, cool. So flat out, is he going to testify against YNW Melly?
No. His attorney said no, he will not testify. The only thing that's gonna happen based on what his attorney said is he only got to answer a couple questions from the state, and then he got to go serve his time, and He'll be out before he 32 or something.
Yeah, 31 to 32.
Yeah.
So
He
his
might even get out.
goddamn.
He might even get out sooner than that. But yeah, he'll get out within the next 5 years. So
Yeah, I'm about to start blocking people. You talking to a direct reporter who was just there? Are y'all insane, bro? Like, God damn! If you won't believe the person who just interviewed the lawyer, who will y'all believe?
that's a good question. I mean,
You know what? It's preconceived notions.
the judge said himself. He said, "I don't know how you did it, but good luck to you, sir." So y'all had to, if y'all were there though,
Why do the internet just run with their own narrative? Everybody just, oh my God, Bortlen did this, did this, Bortlen did that, Bortlen took a plea deal, but he good, they're saying he's actually straight. That's crazy.
right before that went down and before they made the rulings and all that, everybody, well, it wasn't that many people in the courtroom. It was really only Melly's mom, his little brother, and like a couple it was like 8 people in the courtroom in support of Bortlen. And
Melly's mom was one of them.
100K Tracks wasn't there. No one from
He out on tour. He out on tour.
No one from Juvy and Sakchaser side was there. Yeah, it was just, I think their video director Drew made it or something, like, was there or something. So, and then it was like 8 Bauer sheriffs in the back and us 3 reporters. So but everybody was pretty shocked by what happened. They were like, okay, they were shocked by the deal that he got. That's pretty much what they were pretty surprised by that.
So do you have a familiarity with the lawyer who had his shirt all open and shit in court the last time we seen him?
It was Fred Haddad, the same one.
Is he any good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
He is one of the most recognizable defense lawyers in Florida. Like, he's done a lot of big cases. I mean, he's a Kodak's attorney, matter of fact. So he got Kodak out of all them situations you see. Most of them was done by him.
I ain't gonna lie. When I see that shirt open, bro, I was like, man,
yeah, I said that too at first. I was like, why he ain't got a tie, nothing? He don't get. You know who people that walk in there like that, they know they about to go in here and show out. That's what I feel like.
I did say that too. I was like, hey, look, bro, you want me to sign my plea deal in pen or motherfucking pencil? Because I gotta get out of here. That's virtually true.
Man, it was crazy. Like the state flew in there. Like the 2 prosecutors from the state before we even began, they flew in there and immediately gave him the paperwork, signed it. Next, you know, we getting a whole, hey, they accepted a plea deal type. Here, this is what happened. This is what we going through.
So
Really low energy, brain fog.
That's crazy. Now, this is one of the reporters that was actually.
Basically, he said it in your statement that basically everything that he said ain't gonna hurt or help YNW Melly's case.
Nothing. Like his attorney said, it's 2 different cases, 2 different people. It's not going, like, what he says is not going to have anything to do with Melly and not affect Melly at all.
That's crazy. 2 different cases, 2 different people. That's nuts. So if that means that he's off, because he wasn't. If he's off, that means Melly's off too.
So he pretty much took the deal with that in mind. Personally, I feel like he was just like, I ain't got to, if I don't have to, I think the state was more like, hey, if you're going to take the time, whatever, it's still a win for us. Like, we'll just take the time and then just, try and focus on Melly. So.
Because I know 100% Bortlen was not going to testify or take no deal against YNW Melly at all.
Man, I mean, to be in there for as long as he's been in there for, I mean, since 2019.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Your stuff went out. Somebody just called you?
I'm back.
There
I
you go.
froze, right? Yeah, no, yeah, man, he been in there since 2019. So, I mean, he's been in there since 2018. Matter of fact, he got arrested first, so he's been in there since 2018.
Not really, because he had his bond, and
yeah, you're right. He had that, but they're still considered. All that is still considered. Like even though he got out, he got his bond, it's still considered.
he was on house arrest
He's on
for a
house
while.
arrest,
Till 2023, and then that's when
so
they snatched his ass. Yeah.
So all of it still counts. So
now he's not getting out for a couple of years, but it's like I don't. If your lawyer say
5 years versus 75.
That's looking at life, bro. Like what the
Life, that is life. Yeah, that's life.
life is life.
Yeah, he was I mean, 5 years versus 75, like his attorney said, they was like, even if we had a 100% sure thing that we were going to win this case, there's no point in trying to take a chance on that. Just him doing the 5 years. So.
Yeah, but I hate how these cats are putting this out. And shout out to Jake, that's the homie, but it's two different cases.
What did Jake?
That's crazy, Gigi. The data. So he was about to do 75, but if he was innocent, why does he gotta do 5? But fuck it, he just like, yo, you gotta do 5, I guess. So that's just nuts, the data. YNW Melly, he's coming home. YNW Melly's coming home, the data. He's coming home.
Dude.
Jake said that YNW Bortlen is a snitch and all this shit.
Oh, you talking about 1090 Jake, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What Jake
okay, so even with Act and with 1090 Jake and with all these people, I feel like what happened was they're going based off only what the judge said and what they saw in the video. Nobody was in there, so they don't necessarily know what happened afterwards or anything like that. They're just going off the video, which is understandable. Like they saw it as, okay, he accepted a plea. It's hard to hear already on y'all audio, on y'all side for the audio. So I'm sure y'all didn't like get a clear what the judge was saying and what Bortlen was agreeing to and whatnot. But yeah, they got the paperwork. They had to do all this. Like until the paperwork comes out, I understand why they're saying what they're saying. But yes, they are inaccurate in part. Like they're saying he has to do 10 years. Like
they're primarily built on the proffer part. That's what they're built on.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't understand what a proffer was either until today. And even I thought that meant like, not that he has to tell everything, but when I saw everybody was posting like, oh, that means he has to tell everything. Even I thought that at first until we talked to his attorney. It was like, he's only answering a couple questions and that's it. He's not testifying. He's not admitting anything. He's not doing none of that.
So the proffer that he's talking about is accessory after the fact. It's nothing else. Like, I need people to understand. It's the accessory after the fact. YNW Melly didn't show up at the freaking hospital when he was there at the hospital. So that's what they're talking about. They're more than likely going to say, and this is where people are going to try to spin and be like,
actually, no, Melly is not involved in this at all. If you ask Bortlen's attorney, he is nowhere, like he is considered, Bortlen is considered a co-defendant, but these two have two completely different cases.
100%. So even though, he did get the 2 charged off because
that was for him to accept I think that's the only reason he accepted the plea deals, because they said, hey, you plead no contest or guilty to accessory after the fact and wire tampering, then we'll drop the charges.
Yeah, and I don't even think they had a strong case on that one personally.
That's true.
Because
they said they had their strengths. They had both sides had their strengths on, but yeah.
But shit, you was looking at 10, you get it knocked down to 6.
I mean, if it was me and I'm in his same shoes and it came down to this, I would have taken the same deal. I mean, that don't mean that don't necessarily make me a snitch, but I'm not trying to even take a chance with 75 years. I'm gonna just, all right, I only gotta do 5. I already been in here 4. What's another 5 years? Like, all right, cool. I'll get out when I'm 30. I'll be all right.
Look, I talked to a lawyer before he had a big ass case, and then he was we got a deal for like 7. If he loses, he go for life. But I'm telling my client, man, let's fight. I can win this. Turned out he did win it. But I start thinking to myself, like, shit. A safe bet is a safe bet, bro. A safe bet is a safe bet.
When Fred had dad walked in today, he literally told the bailiff, "We're gonna fight it." So I thought before, when everybody was sitting there all day talking about, oh, he accepted a plea deal, I thought, oh no, he finna fight it. He said his attorney said he finna fight it. So and then the state rushed in, came in with their proposal, and next you know, all kinds of signatures was getting signed, and we was like, oh, okay, well, he took the deal, so he took a deal, so we have to just wait and see what it is. And the judge read the deal, and he was confused for a minute, and then he just, you know, read what they agreed on, and was confused. But he was like he said, "Good luck to you, sir." You know.
Damn, the dollar. So why is people running the narrative like YN Bortlen did him wrong, the dollar? YN Bortlen didn't do him wrong, GG. Why would they be running that narrative? That's crazy.
YNW Bortlen walked right in that goddamn courtroom and chose freedom over loyalty.
So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida State Prison, followed by life in Florida State Prison.
Hey, what's up, Domingo? What it do, Domingo?
Pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved. And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, terms of which are as follows. Number 1, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree murder cases. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir.
He accepted a 10-year plea deal that's followed by 6 years probation with the credit time served for 3 years and 2 months. So he'll be back on the streets before 2031. He also agreed to become a government informant and tell everything he saw that happened that night in that car with YNW MELLY, Juvy.
What the fuck? I didn't hear that. I don't know, I didn't hear none of that. Y'all heard that, He didn't say none of that. He didn't say he was going to testify or do this or do that.
And the other little dude. And that right there is the end that you gonna ever see on YNW MELLY. The feds executed a master strategy by offsetting YNW MELLY trial to 2027, and that gave them time to go after his co-defendant and offer him a deal that he couldn't refuse. And YNW Bortlen bit on the bait and stepped on the trap, and that sent his CEO to possibly be persecuted by death. YNW MELLY been in jail since 2019. But now that YNW Bortlen accepted his plea, he gonna die now. YNW MELLY was on the verge of becoming one of the biggest rappers in the game, but instead of platinum plaques, he found himself in a courtroom with metal bracelets fighting for his life. Prosecutors say MELLY set up his own brothers, YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser, then tried to cover it up like it was a random drive-by attack. But the evidence they pulled, the ballistics, the car records, even text message painted a darker picture of betrayal. But the case didn't just stop at the murders themselves. It exploded into a story of tampering, broken promises, and desperation attempts to control the narrative. Now, the prosecutors accused Melly's camp of trying to twist witnesses, pressure from the streets, and quiet threats all played a role in keeping people from telling the truth. Behind the scenes, promises was made to keep mouths shut, promises of money, loyalty, and protection. But the goddamn promises they made didn't last. Every time a story changed, the state pointed and said, this is tampering, and every move made the case heavier on Melly's back. This isn't just a murder case. It's a chess game filled with betrayal, silence, and fear. It's about who's willing to lie, who's willing to fold, and who gonna sit or who gonna risk it all for the goddamn truth. Now everybody on the internet sit back watching just to see if Melly's.
Yeah, they're saying that he took the plea, that homie took the plea deal, but homie took a plea deal, but his plea deal don't gotta do nothing with Melly's case, I just heard the plea. They dropped the murders on Bortlen, so it don't have nothing to do. So if they dropped it on Bortlen, maybe they'll drop them on Melly.
Name gonna hang between a superstar or a convicted killer. The question is, will his legacy be his music or will it be in blood, tampering, or the broken promises that he made to the victim's family? Now y'all know why he is that out there in the streets talking about your gang, and your bang, bang. Y'all better get out them goddamn streets. Go get your CDLs, because the streets cook. They telling y'all, see what's going on, man. The feds breaking down these camps. They let you commit the crime, then they showing you how to tell on slime, offering you goddamn time, because you know you trying to get back out here to they goddamn big booty bum pushing them. They know you want to get back out here on social media. They know you don't want to do no time in the jail. They know how it goes. So what they doing, they breaking these camps down by offering plea deals just to show you just how real, fake, and snake these play gangsters is. Man, the streets cook is over with. The internet doing the job of the goddamn federal agents. Man, the internet doing the job of the undercover detectives. Man, people figuring out crimes on this internet before they even investigate. They already knew they had YNW Melly cooked. That's why they pushed that case back to 2027. They were just playing chess. They would let him sit, because they know they had shit on his shoe. They were smelling it, but they couldn't prove it. They couldn't find out which shoe it was. Now that Bortlen took this goddamn plea deal, he gonna go ahead and plea out the goddamn life, because if not, and they take that shit to trial in 2027, your man finna get the death penalty, and he'll be out of here within 3 years, especially in Broward County judicial system. They gonna make an example out here, little bad ass. But y'all comment below and let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Y'all make sure y'all watch out for them fake scammers that be in the comments talking about you want some goddamn money. That's not Nino Brown. This.
Yo, Nino's playing the narrative. Dada, you feel like Nino's playing the narrative? GG, that's fucked up. Nigga, how they running the Bortlen's name to the ground. What the lawyer just said it, Dada, and the lawyer said that he don't even fucking think snitches, Dada. So I'm taking the lawyers. I'm definitely
fighting this double homicide case of Melly's two best friends for the last 4 years. They've been lockstep. They've been on the same page. They've been locked in, and they've held it down through the first trial. But it looks like the co-defendant that had enough, because he just took a plea deal. And at court today, because it was all recorded, some things were said in court today that if I'm YNW Melly, I won't be able to get any sleep tonight.
Off the top at 6, we begin with a stunning development in the double murder trial of YNW Melly.
After days of deliberations, the jury was deadlocked, leading the judge to declare a mistrial. And Local 10's Joseph Ojo was at the courthouse in Fort Lauderdale with reaction. And what happens next?
And decisions ending after 3 days, with the jury not able to come up with a unanimous decision to decide the fate of YNW Melly.
I'm going to just declare this trial.
After considering all the facts, jurors in YNW Melly's double murder trial unable to come up with a unanimous decision Saturday. On Friday, they asked for cell phone records and told the judge they were deadlocked. Melly's defense team thanking the jury for their efforts throughout the trial, but adding they were expecting a different result.
We are somewhat disappointed that Melly is not walking out the door with us.
Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demmons, is accused of murdering Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams in October of 2018. Surveillance video shows the group leaving a Fort Lauderdale recording studio that night, and prosecutors say Melly shot and killed Williams and Thomas soon after.
Jamel Demmons was sitting in the back seat of that Jeep, and he was the one that fired the fatal shots that killed Christopher Thomas and Anthony Williams.
Investigators believe Melly and another friend then drove the car to a secluded part of Miramar where they...
So this is what I'm saying. If they drop the fucking two bodies on his friend, then they believe that he don't got nothing to do with it either. How you gonna still prosecute him if you're saying his friend didn't do it?
They are said to have staged a drive-by shooting to use as a cover story. But Melly's defense team has maintained there are major holes in the state's case, even bringing their own witness who said Melly learned about the murders at the same time as the rest of their friend group.
There's a lack of evidence. There is a conflict in the evidence, and the evidence itself, and the investigation itself stinks.
And the jury did have a chance to decide on a lesser charge. This case will be retrialed, so we will keep you updated. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Joseph Ojo.
The first trial ended in a hung jury, but it was a mistrial by the skin of Melly's teeth because 11 people, again, not 7-5, not 8-4, not 9-3, 11 people voted to convict him. One person that was described as like sporadic and unhinged voted to send him home. 11 jurors voted to convict, but the case still wasn't like cut and dry, obviously, because it was a hung jury. But there was a couple contributing factors that led to this hung jury and ultimately a mistrial. So several jurors believed the prosecution failed to prove his case beyond a reasonable doubt, particularly due to the lack of a recovered murder weapon and conflicting ballistic evidence. Expert analysis noted that the jury thoroughly debated the evidence but couldn't agree, which is common in cases where proof is not overwhelming. Because the murder weapon was never recovered, they couldn't say for 100% fact which gun Melly used to murder his two friends. And where Melly was sitting, both sides brought experts to testify why Melly had to have been the one who shot and killed the two people in the vehicle. Somebody else testified that if Melly was in the vehicle, he couldn't have been the one who shot them because of where he was angled at and how he would have to curve the gun to shoot. Again, it was ballistics, it was unsure, it was gray area. But I believe one of the things that really led to Melly not being found guilty, I think it was the motive angle. Because you're taking this man to court and trying to convince 12 strangers that he killed his two best friends. He killed two people who he got their names tatted on him. And you have to give a pretty convincing and compelling reason why he would kill his two best friends in the world. The defense effectively argued that YNW Melly had no apparent motive to kill his close friends and crew members, Sakchaser and Juvy, which raised doubt among jurors. And I believe that's true. I do believe that the lack of a motive helped. In the opening statement for the state attorney instructed the jury that they didn't need a motive to convict, that they just need to believe beyond a reasonable doubt that he did this, and the motive is not important. Once you open up with that, that tells me you don't know what the motive is. They did a good enough job at probably not snitching on themselves or not talking to each other to where you couldn't really figure out exactly what the motive is. Now, they would claim that Sakchaser and Melly was battling for power, and apparently Sakchaser was the label owner, so he kind of had rights to the YNW brand and trademark that Melly was trying to get up from under, and that a deal came and Melly wanted the bulk of the deal, but they wanted like a greater percentage of the portion. And they even said, yo, Sakchaser and Melly had a fight where Sakchaser knocked out Melly grills in front of his girlfriend, but that's Sakchaser. That don't explain why Melly would kill Juvy. Did he kill Juvy because Juvy witnessed the murder? Right? Like, again, it was gray area. Now, here's the thing. Because the prosecution didn't have the motive or didn't know certain details about what took place that night, one of these people had to turn for the prosecution to really create an ironclad case. Because only two people on earth know exactly what took place in that car, YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen. So with this Bortlen plea deal, the most interesting thing is figuring out, is it required for Bortlen to tell? Is Bortlen being required? Is Bortlen being asked to come and give information of what he knows? Because if Bortlen gives a statement that can be used against YNW Melly, where he puts together the missing pieces that only him and Melly know, that would be enough for 100% fact to convict YNW Melly. So YNW Bortlen was offered up a plea deal. And I think he was given like a day to decide, but then that got extended to about 5 days. So 5 days later today, he ended up in court, and he ultimately made his decision on what he was going to do with the plea deal.
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? You can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you? How far did you go in school? Do you read and understand the English language? Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol? Have you ever been treated for a mental illness? Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now? How are you feeling this afternoon? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on this afternoon? You understand you're resolving 2 pending felony cases this afternoon? Right. Mr. Haddad or Mr. Nascimento, have you seen or heard Mr. Henry say or do anything which would call into question in your mind whether you understand what's going on?
Nothing.
All right, so Mr. Henry, it's 2 cases, sir. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, this is before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state. You were charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital offenses. The maximum and mandatory penalty is life in Florida State prison. Counts 3 and 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty is 30 years in Florida State prison. In case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged in count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State prison. Count 2, directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony. Again, punishable up to life in Florida State prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. Again, as it relates to a first degree murder charge, that is punishable by a maximum penalty of life in Florida State prison. And count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device as charged. That's a second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State prison.
1 + 1 is 2. When you try to tell me 1 + 1 is 3, that's when I stop listening. The judge just rattled off 3 life sentences that he was facing. 3 plus like 75. 3 lives plus 75. He just rattled that off, bro. And then at the end of this, the judge will say that he took a plea deal to where he can plead no contest, and he only gets 10 years in prison. He already did 4. That's 6 years. He comes out from 3 life sentences plus 75 to 6 years in prison. How does one achieve a deal that good? I don't want to hear Flacco. He ain't.
Oh my God! Shut up, Dundada. When like the lawyer, like his lawyer, like what are you saying, Dundada? Like, yo, bro, these people, Dundada, they try to make. You see, if you listen to these dudes, Dundada, they'll make it like everything they said was accurate to right now, Dundada. I don't want to hear he snitches, bro. He like when they dropped the like what you saying, Dundada. He has nothing to do with YNW's case, Dundada. The lawyer said it, like he just wants to go overdo it or wants to keep going on with it, make people actually dumb. Because if you listen to him and you think that he's actually telling the truth, then you're blatantly blind to the truth.
Snitching yet? It's yet. He ain't snitching yet. But they have an agreement to where he got to sit down within a week, I believe. And that's when the snitching is going to happen. Let's hear when they get to the end, listen closely to exactly what he has to do in a week.
So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida State prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State prison. Sir, do you understand all the pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved? And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct? Yes. And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number 1, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first-degree murder cases. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir.
He's not pleading guilty to count 2 newer cases.
Dad, I'm bugged.
Let's count the smiles.
What's happening with that?
That would be no problem.
So he's only going to plead to the tampering with a witness in a capital felony, conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device?
Just the tampering and the unlawful use.
Just count 1 and count 7.
Correct.
State, you're going to null process count 2 and count 5.
Correct, Your Honor.
As it relates only to Mr. Henry.
Correct.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, what it's going to be is 2 counts of accessory after the fact, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. In the unlawful use of a two-way communication device, that's a 2nd-degree felony. The maximum exposure.
It's a 3rd degree, Your Honor.
It's the 2nd as charged, I believe. It's a 3rd, except as it relates to a capital case. But I'm happy to
Our
look it up.
state has it as a 3rd, that's what we discussed, so.
So what did you want the negotiated sentence to be for that?
That was just going to be the maximum time served.
5 years? Is that what you want me to do?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so, sir, as to that count, it's going to be an adjudication of 5 years in Florida State Prison. So the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count, those come with 6 years of reporting probation after the Department of Corrections sentence. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've served in both cases. All of those counts will run concurrently. All those sentences will run concurrently. All counts in all cases, that is at the same time with each other. I'm going to have to impose mandatory court costs. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reservists to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you've negotiated is the deal you've negotiated, and that's the ballgame. Do you understand all that, sir? Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that? They've answered all your questions? You're sure that that's what you want to do? Because I want to emphasize, Mr. Henry, and I'm going to do.
The judge said, I don't know how you pulled this off. How did you and your team of attorneys pull this off? It was a favor for a favor. If you believe that they took 3 life sentences plus 75 and they got it down to 6 years because they wanted to be nice, you think they're not getting nothing in return, you're out of your mind. But the judge said, in your negotiated plea, you agreed to do a proffer agreement where you sit down and tell them what you know in about a week. Just so you know, though, you already pled guilty. That will have no bearing on your sentence. But this was a favor for a favor. Hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. And these street dudes nowadays, bro, these new age street dudes, yo, they the best rats you've ever met, bro. They are evolved rats. They're finding new way to snitch without getting caught. This proffer agreement is going to be him coming to.
He don't know what the proffer agreement is going to say. The lawyer already told us what the proffer agreement is going to say. You actually putting your own words into it, which don't make sense. Like, it is what it is. YNW Bortlen, got his own proffer agreement, which means that he don't have to testify or do anything. His proffer agreements against him, just Bortlen, don't got to do nothing with YNW Melly. It don't have nothing to do with YNW Miller's case. Their cases is different, They got different cases, and that's just what it is, So hopefully, everybody, have a fair day, everybody done that, you know what I'm saying? Come home, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Have a good life, done that, because it's everybody's life, done that. It's not a game, done that. Life ain't a game, done that. Everybody's life is a life, done that. So you gotta understand that, you gotta take it, you know what I'm saying, with caution, done that. Just have consideration for life, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's going through stuff. People been going through stuff. YNW Melly's going through stuff. YNW Bortlen's going through stuff, that they gonna be, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully they can stay aware. Hopefully they stay prayed up. Hopefully they understand life's what you make it. You know what I'm saying? It's simply what you make it. You can't love it. You can't hate it. It's gonna be simply what you make it. You got to stay more aware. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they in the elevator. Hopefully they pray him. And they could get out of the situation. Cause you know what I'm saying? If there's a situation, there's still a chance that they could get out of it. And that's just what it is. I'm saying God chose them because they knew could trust them. God's best kept secret. Let's stay more aware than ever. That should hurt. That's a fact.